Hello. I don't want to sound exhausted right from the get go, but there's been a lot to do today, and just sick and tired of being proven wrong. I'm sorry. Sick and tired of. I wish I was wrong. Sick and tired of being proven right. China conducting race baiting social media campaigns to polarize Americans, former CIA officer said. China's communist regime is using social media to weaponize racial enmity in the United States, according to a former intelligence officer. The Chinese Communist Party is actively working to erode a trust in the U.S. political system and to increase political polarization among Americans by inflaming racial tensions on social media, according to Nicholas F. 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 Eftimidia. F. What? Eftimiades. I believe that's Greek, but correct me, please. A senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, a Washington based think tank. China works a lot now, attempting to divide the United States. Eftimiades said during a September 30th interview with NTD, a sister media outlet of Epoch Times. Race baiting is a tactic that we've seen starting to evolve from China in the United States. This goes back to the riots of 2020. Race baiting refers to the encouragement or coaxing of racism or anger about racial issues for political gain. I want to go off on a tangent here and add that this works best when if you're trying to set two groups up at each other and one is significantly uneducated than the other. And it just some of us can see it coming, others don't because they are busy blaming the other side for race baiting because they trust their sources. So trust is there. So as I was saying in the past, somebody's being lied to. So here we are. This is just the top of the iceberg. Ephremiadis, who previously worked in the Central Intelligence Agency's State Department, Diplomatic Security Service, and Defense Intelligence Agency, said that CCP maintained several organizations that carried out overseas information operations and could promote such campaigns. Let me tell you something. They are collecting data like nobody's business. I've been saying it for years. Not only I'm not talking about TikTok. Okay, whoever has a TikTok account, consider yourself a labeled official moron because anyone and everyone who knew anything about CCP, officially or unofficially, in intelligence or not, was said and was saying that you should not be on TikTok. It is there for CCP to gather information. All sorts of information. I don't have TikTok. I never had TikTok. I'm an intelligence analyst. I've been amongst the people yelling and screaming saying, don't get it. You know what else? Stuff. China is conducting information gathering operations over so many things that you wouldn't think that there would be avenues for such an exercise. The if it's sophisticated enough, down to your electric coffee maker, okay, China's collecting information on it. If you have a smart fridge that orders your stuff for you, and you can look at the door, and it has some sort of what you want to call it, touch screen that will tell you what's in it or whatnot, that sort of, or even any technology comparable to that when it comes to washing dishes and whatnot. China has tapped into all of that. The same people that are complaining about privacy are the ones that don't care if it is presented to them in a way that it just tickles their ignorance and rubs their back and just bolsts their ego. Lord help us. Among these, he said, were the CCP's Propagandist United Front Work Department, the Intelligence Focused Ministry of State Security, and the People's Liberation Army, all of which have conducted covert influence operations in foreign countries. Often, Efemiotes, CCP social media campaigns were short lived because they were found out by security professionals employed by the social media companies. Some, however, could fester and grow with insular echo chambers online, where readers often only see content designed for them based on proprietary algorithms. If you know what you're doing, you can conduct an op where the person or entity conducting it won't know who they are, he or she or they are working for. Perfect example of this, I'm just drawing parallels to near past so that you can comprehend it better, but an example is the Malaysian girls that carried out the assassination operation on Kim Jong Un's brother at the airport. They both thought that they were being trained to be on some sort of game show or collecting scenes to collecting scenes for a producer to produce a uh, prank-based game show, and they were just going around just rubbing stuff on people or spraying what have you. And then when they came for them to do the same to Kim Jong Un's brother at the airport, they just carried it out, just like another act that they had done previously. So calling a puppet doesn't reveal anything if the puppet doesn't know that he or she is a puppet. It's it is all of this is detailed. None of this is sophisticated. All this is so old school. So you typically look for echo chambers. You look for the type of race-based politics that China's trying to divide and conquer within the United States. CCP now targeting Americans domestically. Efemiotes' comments follow an announcement by Meta Platforms that it had dismantled a China-based misinformation campaign ahead of 2022 midterm elections. The purpose of the campaign appeared to be to inflame tensions and increase polarization among Americans on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mom, I ran out of all the conspiracy theories. They all became true. Give me some more. I need my conspiracy theories. Efemiotes said that this phenomenon presented an evolution in CCP information tactics as the regime previously focused on swaying opinions about Americans aboard rather than interfering with its people internally. I'd say it's the first time we've seen a lot of attacks in the US, Efemiotes said. It is a concept of divide and conquer internally. In the United States, we have our issues with racism, and they're exploiting those differences as of late, Efemiotes said. The comments echo similar remarks made by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who now hosts a program for Hudson Institute, a conservative think tank. The worst lie the CCP, tell is that America is somehow a racist country. Pompeo said in the first episode of the show. But that is the exact opposite of the truth. America is the only country in the world founded on the idea that all humans are treated and created equally. Pompeo's remarks in turn followed a propaganda pushed by the Chinese state-run media CCTV, which claimed that racism was an unhealable wound in the United States. To that end, Pompeo said that the Chinese Communist authorities were shielding themselves from criticism at home while exploiting U.S. freedoms to undermine America's place in the world. Twitter is not allowed in China, but CCP propagandists use it in America, Pompeo said. The undeniable truth, the one that CCP doesn't want you to know, is that the most anti-Chinese force in history is the CCP. The remarks were in an apparent reference to the fact that the CCP's policies and actions have killed more people than any other regime in history, including Soviet Russia, Nazi Germany, the Mongol invasion started by Genghis Khan. I look forward to the day when Chinese people will be able to participate in those same kinds of debates and fights for freedom that Americans have had since 1776, Pompeo said. Pretty clear cut. For God and country.